Rolling? We are. Excellent. How you doing? Look out, it's only me. Oh, we got the new red scarf action here. I said, we'll talk with the whole essay. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. The Kimmer Show podcast with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports rack.
Arsenal. Go Gunners.
Arsenal. And that, what now, a gunner? Now, what's the gunner?
The gunner is the cannon. That's their thing.
Arsenal. Oh, of course. That's a soccer team of some kind?
It is. I don't have any World Cup soccer stuff, so I thought I'd wear the Arsenal.
Oh, well, so do you watch soccer? Do you?
The World Cup is fun.
Yeah, World Cup is always fun to watch.
My favorite part is when they go for 90 minutes and nobody scores, and then they're cheering.
But
and,
this is pressure.
Then they riot, and then they start shooting the N-word and throwing bananas at the black guys, and then have a riot.
That's
and people
in Europe.
die. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
this makes the Super Bowl look like a high school game. This is pressure of an entire planet watching you up.
Oh, wow.
On television. And the pressure is enormous.
Oh, it's just...
like Colombia guy, they killed him.
Yeah.
He scored the own goal in 84 against the U.S.
A week later, he was...
94. Yeah. And he was dead, and they shot him.
5 days later.
Well, I guess we should start watching.
I'm telling you.
I'm happy for people.
Well, it's the biggest sport in the world.
I know. And again, I'm in the minority. I'm wrong in every possible way. I wouldn't watch soccer if you paid me $4 a minute to watch. I'd watch for 12 minutes just and then go get a hamburger. I mean, honestly, there's no just running, kicking. Oh, they're kicking. Oh, let's slide on our knees. Yay! Take off our shirt. Yay!
Yes, there's a lot wrong with it. Did you hear the Ecuadorians?
Ecuadorians, what did they do?
Queremos cerveza. It's like, we want beer.
Over in Iraq or wherever they are. Where in Saudi Arabia? Qatar, yes, yeah.
But it's only beer. You can still get alcohol. You can get liquor drinks and wine.
Can't you get it outside the stadium or something?
So.
I'm not sure, but you just can't get beer in the stadium.
You can't get beer or blowjobs in the stadium.
Yeah, I thought you could get it out at some special venue. I don't know.
I don't know.
So I suppose they're going to riot over that, I'm guessing. Oh, I read. Was that the Iranians refused to sing their own national anthem? Did I hear that?
I don't know.
Was that right? And so they're all going to be assassinated when they go home, I assume.
The Dutch are all going to wear armbands with one love thing. They're going to wear armbands, and they say, okay, you wear the armbands, but we're going to give you your captains a yellow card. And they said,
ooh.
That's
one step from being thrown out, right?
Yeah, we love human rights, but not enough to get our captain thrown out.
Well, why would they throw out a captain for having an armband? Because they have decorated armbands?
It's not supposed to do politics of any type.
And what was the political thing? I didn't hear.
One love,
what is that?
For human rights. And England was going to take a knee again. Oh, they're going to take a knee again. What the hell are they still taking a knee again?
I don't. What's wrong with everybody? I mean, really.
Screw everybody.
Have you heard any? Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, and Flounder, the mechanical mangler. We haven't even said hi to Flounder yet, for goodness sakes, at our El Condo Flounder. And we are Facebooking and YouTubing. Yes, and it's Thanksgiving week. It's Monday, and we'll be talking about that and some shopping things and a couple of updates. Also, some personal stuff. We have a lot of newsy topics. We'll be talking about, let's see, the gay nightclub shooting. Also, the University of Idaho. That is the strangest case I've heard about in years. I mean, that's like the Patsy little girl, JonBenet Ramsey case, that it just doesn't make sense.
I'm at the point now.
Second floor, third floor, two others sleeping. Nobody heard anything.
I'm not paying attention to any more of these stories. I don't care who shoots who or who stabs who. I'm tired of it. I don't care anymore. And it's the usual. Half the nation says you got to take away the guns. The other half says no, we got to keep the guns. It's the same shit over and over and over and over again. I'm tired of it. Shoot each other. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, there you are. Anyway, also Matt Walsh is getting creamed. Well-known conservative columnist and commentator. About the nightclub shooting. We'll talk about that. Also, tweets and memes and Elon Musk and CBS and the New York Times. We'll talk about that.
Isn't it funny that every time they think it's a white guy's done something, we knew immediately it's a hate crime?
Yeah.
But if it's a Muslim-looking guy, let's don't jump to any conclusions here.
Let's let the facts happen first. Yeah. We'll talk about all kind of good stuff, newsy stuff. The Forsyth County judge ruled that they have to allow some kinds of bad language, including profanity, at school board meetings, which is what the cat got my thing again.
He's made a cave of your coat.
He's totally
he is inside. So far inside that coat right now. I mean, I've seen one ear.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Also, a feature story. I don't know if I knew this, I had forgotten it. Did you know that Jerry Lee Lewis, who just recently passed away not long ago, Jerry Lee Lewis, who died, the 13-year-old cousin he married, Myra, is still alive and lives here in Atlanta and is a real estate agent?
No, she doesn't.
Huh?
She's not 13 anymore.
Oh, she's not 13 anymore? You idiot.
Someone sent that to me 2 weeks ago, and I apologize because I kept saying I was going to mention it, and I kept forgetting it every single time.
Well, I've got a little story, an update on her, which I think is pretty interesting. It might be just for kicks.
We should have her in.
What's that?
We should have her in.
I'd love to have her in. Also, Bob Dylan in the news, and I have some history on him concerning his a link to his former high school girlfriend. We'll talk about that and some communication stuff. So stuff like that. Also, holy crap at sports. Today's Monday. Later on today, I'm guessing.
Already did it.
Already. Oh my God, man. Well, big weekend in sports. You want to do a couple of clues? Holy crap at sports. Best podcast.
The Falcons won.
Falcons winning it, and it was once again. Was it Koo? What's this guy's name? This
Koo.
Koo. You got a lot. Also, speaking of that, I was going to mention this later. I'll mention it right now. I didn't watch a lot of football over the weekend, but pro football. But I do watch highlights. But I noticed more than once, all of a sudden now, two things really amaze me: field goal kickers are kicking it so freaking far. I saw a 57-yarder, and it was still climbing when it went through the goalposts.
It was. The guy hit 260. Who was he if they hit two in a row, 260-yarders, because they made him do it again. He did it again.
But everybody's, I mean, I guess they've now decided, and when did this happen? Remember what Lou Groza did the one thing with half a foot stuff. But
he wasn't half foot.
No,
Tom Dempsey.
The New Orleans Saints guy with a half foot kicked the 62-yarder, whatever. I remember. I saw that. But again, that was one incident a long time ago. But lately, the last several years, 50-yard field goals are nothing. I mean, they're still climbing. So clearly something happened.
I can kick 50
6 or 8 or 10 years ago, where they said we better start getting guys who do this for a living instead of an afterthought.
Pete
Anyway,
Gogolak.
Yeah.
The first.
And the barefoot kickers, and the guy from Philadelphia had called him Christmas toe.
Tony Franklin.
Might have been, I think it was Tony Franklin. They called him Christmas toe because his toe was all bright red from kicking barefoot.
Idiot. He's from Texas A&M.
In the winter in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
By the way, anyway, but the other thing is, what amazes me is they can kick it 70 yards and still climbing, and they miss so many extra points. I saw, again, over the week, I couldn't believe it. How could you miss a 12-yarder?
No, it's 30-something now. It's longer.
Yeah, but anyway, I just remarked about it. But again, it's unbelievable. It's still climbing. Anyway, I thought it was pretty remarkable. Let's see. Weekend stuff. Flounder, any weekend activities of interest or fantasticness?
No, it was pretty boring. Sat around here and didn't do much and enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, even better. And we got now Thanksgiving week. We'll talk about our plans here in a moment. But first, Pete, how about your weekend? A lot of football, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was a lot of football. I'm almost to the point now. I'm ready for this to be the last Saturday coming up.
Yeah,
because I'm ready to get out and start taking some drives and getting out of the house.
Yeah. Now, other than the Falcons win, and they had the kick returner set an NFL record.
Yeah,
more
9
touchdown returns than anybody ever in history, which is unbelievable. And I feel embarrassed because I didn't know anything about the guy.
Cordell Patterson?
I know the name. I've heard his name, but I don't. It's not like I've ever even heard anybody talking about it. There was no. I said, one more time and he'll set the. No one ever heard of anything.
He's eating the flowers. I was just wondering if that's a good thing.
He's licking the vase.
No, he's eating it.
Okay. Kitty cat.
So he's eating my scarf, your jacket, now the flowers. He's having a good morning.
Anyway. Now see, I'll give you your sports section. I was going to do this later. Let's see, Miss Thing. Your Pete poll was out?
It was.
I saw a lot of reaction to that. You want to give the top 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever?
It didn't change except number 5. We still have Georgia. I have Michigan. They have Ohio State. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and TCU. But now I have Southern Cal, and so does either AP or the coaches poll. They both, because the only poll that matters is tomorrow night,
right?
Of course. But they got Southern Cal number 5 now.
That's kind of surprising. Now, and how about the Tennessee quarter? Is the quarterback's out, gone, right?
He's
man. Well, there goes Tennessee, and there goes his Heisman.
Yep.
Although, well.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, I can't imagine. But I get it was at the turf. I mean, he went down on his own.
I think they have grass. Don't they have grass in Columbia? I think they have a natural grass. I thought they did.
I don't remember, but but he went down on his own. He made a cut and boom. That was a ball game. He's trying to. Cat's trying to get in your speaker
He's
system.
opening the.
He's trying to get in the hole of it. He ain't gonna
Open
work.
the file
buddy.
cabinet.
And I noticed that the magnificent angel Michaela Schifrin has won another international skiing event over in some place.
Did you see what she was wearing?
No, I can't. Well,
No, I'm thinking about the gymnast Michaela.
Oh, that one too. Oh my God!
Oh, she's wearing some stuff now.
Yeah.
That
no, Michaela Schifrin, the ski girl, the skier, who's got. I mean, she won another thing, and Michaela Schifrin the skier may be, and the other Michaela gymnast girl, the hottest gymnast or the hottest athlete, female athletes like Anna Kournikova, hot.
Of course she won. It wasn't the Olympics.
Yeah, good point. Anyway,
I'm kidding.
No, you're only teasing. Your man's teasing. Okay, now let's. Oh, we got so many things.
By the way, congratulations to our listener, Strick.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm proud to announce I just asked my future ex-wife number 3 to marry me." So, you poor bastard.
Well, where's ex-wife number 2? We're both available.
That's right. Want somebody else's exes.
Yeah, exactly.
Got enough of her own.
A little too late to start fresh.
Floating around.
Yeah, I want to get a girl who's never been married or dated. Yeah.
At this age.
Yeah, right. Starting
Oh my
starting
God!
now.
What did she just wake up
She
from
got
a
out of the
coma?
nunnery 4 years ago.
She's
82.
She's turned down her
Sister Mary Marie.
vows. She's reneged on her vows.
They kicked her out for wonking with a
and she's ready to party.
She wants to get hammered.
She's gonna make up.
Yeah, she goes into a bar, orders a carafe of your finest whiskey. No, sister. A drink at a time, honey. Anyway, I don't even know where I am. But it's a bit of a thing. Oh, all right. Are we ready? We have a camera ready?
Oh God. Are you gonna walk around with a microphone, or are you just gonna talk to nobody?
Have a camera if you would follow.
All right, he's getting up.
I went shopping. I did some shopping over the weekend. We'll talk about shopping after I get back to sit down. And
Lord.
I found a pair of they're not, and I hope they're not mom jeans. You'll have to tell me. $29 Wrangler 34-32s, and by the way, apparently everybody in America wears 34-32. I got the last 2 pair in the whole count.
They're not mom jeans.
Anyway, okay, they're not mine.
They're
now,
gay
I
jeans.
Walk so you can see these are my new jeans.
Someone stole your ass. They're not bad for what they are.
Huh?
For Wranglers, they're not bad.
I mean, they're not
They're bad at all.
fancy or schmancy, but
They're not bell bottoms.
at the waist.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, no one can hear you, so come and sit down.
In terms of this thing,
No one can hear you. No one can hear you. This is bad podcasting right here.
You saw enough, right? Okay. Now, I actually did get one comment from a woman who said she is following us on the podcast, and I mentioned the fact I hate buying jeans, and I have suffered from the medical condition of no acetol, and I got a comment from a very nice lady who said, well, actually, your butt looked pretty good last weekend with the so and so. Anyway, so these are my new jeans, and I'm very happy. And a word of advice: it's getting crowded. The shoppers are out. And in fact, and so is traffic. Coming down 400, I'm not going through town anymore for a while at least, because it's just the construction, and I just can't afford any more flat tires. But going down 400, it was the most crowded I've seen it in weeks or months for some reason. Today, I don't know why. I guess people are getting ready to. I don't know, but it was mobbed. Parking lots, and again, be careful. Here we go. Some of the most troublesome things happen in parking lots. Little teeny fender benders, or you break or something, all of a sudden there goes your afternoon, and then insurance. Please be careful in parking lots. It'll ruin your day for stupid something.
Wayne, no offense, has weighed in.
Oh, has he?
Did you get a free bowl of soup with this?
Oh, no, I knew that. You bastard. For $29, I'll take them.
Now, is that at Nordstrom's Rack?
What's that?
Did you get those at Nordstrom's Rack?
No, I actually got them up at it turned out to be an outlet mall.
The one at 400?
Actually, a different one over in Woodstock or something. But in fact, I had a very interesting experience. I was in a store. I was doing a couple of things shopping, and I went into this one store. And the lady met me, and I said, "You've got something for me?" She said, "Okay, boom, bum." She says, "Okay, just get in line. We'll take care of you." Okay, so I get in line. There's 5 people in line, and it was very slow going because a lot of people are getting more than one item at this particular store. And I happened to mention, I said, gee, you'd think they'd realize their Thanksgiving shopping week that they'd, be prepared for this. And I wasn't being nasty. They were just, kept falling about it. So I'm standing there. All of a sudden, like one or two people going, it's taking forever because they got a lot of things to check out. And so the lady in front of me, I don't know how old she was, but she was completely covered up. She was, I don't know whether she was Arabian or Indian but she was totally covered except for
What color was it?
It was kind of a silk thing.
What color was it?
I don't know. It was multicolored, I think. I don't think it wasn't all solid black.
I've never had anyone answer silk when I asked what color.
Well, I don't know. I think it was I think it was like a scarf, but it was all over her total face.
Because that's more Hindu.
It might have been Hindu. It could have been Hindu or I don't know. Pakistan. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it wasn't all black like in Pakistan, but she was clearly totally covered. And she's in front of me, and so then one lady finally gets done, and there's like two more people in front of her, and then me, and so forth. Then she said, "You go ahead. You only have one thing." Oh. And I said, no. I said, no. I can't. No, please go. That's right. And she insisted. She said, no. And she forced me to go in front of her. And some lady the other day at the grocery store. God, do I look that old?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, wait a minute, but I'm wearing a hat. I mean, I was wearing a hat and my
Sahib,
my
you go.
leather jacket on, so I looked like a grown up. But I and she said, no, you. And she kind of forced me to go ahead of her, and we got done. When I got done, then she went up to the next counter, and I went over and specifically said thank you and tipped my cap to her. It was very, very polite to her for what she did. But there's twice now in the last week, I swear I'm not making this up, I'll get to going into Publix, and I'm ready to go to the door, and there's a lady coming up like this to my side, and I'll stop and going, she says, oh no, you go ahead. I said, no, my mother would spank me if I did, you're the girl, you have to, but it's like all of a sudden people are saying, no, you go ahead. Do I look like a decrepit old man?
You know how you can tell the difference?
No.
If you're young and you fall down in public, people laugh. If you're old, you fall down in public, they rush to your aid.
I couldn't believe it.
So next time you're in Publix, take a toss and see what happens.
I thought, oh, Jesus, what a freaking day. Anyway, I thought that was very sweet of her. She was very, very nice.
By the way, in some face, a man tipping his cap to a woman is the ultimate insult. So you never know what happens.
Well, that's hard to believe. But by the way, and for the record, with way no offense making fun of my fanny, just for the record, I don't know whether my daughter Jennifer's watching. Sometimes she'll tune into the podcast if she gets a little alert or something. So maybe I love you, sweetie, and happy Thanksgiving in advance. But I hope this is not too embarrassing. But in my own defense, back in my younger days, when I was we were still married out. But anyway, my daughter Jennifer would tell me. When I was, I guess, probably 35 years old or something, that her girlfriends would admire me in the mall, they'd spot me and would kind of follow her daddy in the mall because they thought I was cute and had a cute butt or something. So just for the record.
Well, about that, let's see. Strick says, his hair isn't the only thing he's losing. His butt has left the chat.
It's gone. I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
And Coco wants to know, geez, Flounder, where's your snooze button or sneeze button?
Did you sneeze again?
I guess. Did you sneeze?
I don't think I've sneezed yet.
Boy, people are getting very critical here this time in Thanksgiving season. Let's see, a couple things. Again, I went to the post office, Kimmer Media, Post Office Box 1432, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009. And I went in the last couple of days, and I got a very nice note yesterday and picked it up, and a very nice little check, and went through our Wells Fargo place not far from where I live, and of course there's no drive-through open. So I go into the bank. There are three people in line, and I'm third in line, and there was only one girl behind the counter, woman, and one guy in one of the back rooms. That's it. Two people in the place.
Yep.
And three customers. And then another two more came in behind me. And it took forever. I hate this. The lady in front of me, she had like 9 different transactions, and every time she'd do a transaction, the teller would turn to the machine on the right, and it was one of those counting machines or something. I'm going, oh God, here we go again. And everybody going, I'm going, I'm never going to get out of here. And it was the same thing with the person in front of me. And finally get to the thing, and I said, what days of the week do you normally not have drive-through service? She said, oh, I said, well, we don't have any more. You don't have any. Well, I said, no, we're not. We don't have any more drive-through because we don't have the people, and
right.
It's vacation. You want to take vacation? I said. So, and you're the. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
That no one will work. It's not their fault.
I know. I wasn't blaming her. I'm just saying. And I turned. There were 2 old guys behind me. Not maybe my age, but older, old guys. And I turned. I said, isn't this backwards? I said, I said, what's going on here? I've never even heard of such a thing. Anyway, just a sign of the times.
And both those guys thinking, I'm not old.
He's old. Speak for yourself, there, dorkwad. Anyway, I couldn't. And she said, everybody wants to take off for the holiday. I said, well, what about us? Anyway.
What about me?
I guess
Kim Peterson.
Oh, yeah, mercy. Anyway, I got some magazines for you. I got, now I don't know, we're still getting notices that my New Yorker subscription expired, but we're still getting 2 copies. So I don't know.
If you cancel it, we'll get 3.
I know. And so I don't know whether you get these also, because I keep bringing when I get double copies, so you may have already seen one of those. And another Vanity Fair.
I've seen this one.
Okay. Well, maybe Flounder wants it. And this is a Vanity Fair with Margot Robbie on the cover.
In fact,
yes.
I haven't, oh God. I think I threw away the one with the Bob Dylan article in it, damn it.
No.
Oh.
That may be it.
That may be it. Yeah.
That may be it. And if I may have it at home if I haven't thrown it away. In fact, I guarantee I have it at home. I'll try to remember. No, but I put them. Well, when I read whatever I read, I put in a box. I have a big cardboard box, and when I get done with the newspapers and all the magazines, I put them in the box, and then every Tuesday night I take them down to the garage and put them in the barrel to be picked up Wednesday morning. Is that it?
Got it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, good. Anyway, and here's the Vanity Fair. They're attacking Ivana Trump and various things, but again, it's Vanity Fair.
We have a special treat for you here.
You have a special treat for me?
We almost forgot, but we have not forgot.
How's it possible that
That's a good-looking woman, by the way. Margot Robbie's a
It's not my type,
woman.
but she's definitely an attractive woman. Handsome woman, I would say. Yeah. No question about it.
I usually don't like them if they don't have anything up top, but her face
I don't
is
care
just
about that.
gorgeous.
I'm a leg man. Just a leg man.
We got it? Yes, sir. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Here, loud and proud.
The legend lives on the
Remember the time the guy sang the national anthem to this? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? And you can do it. But so proudly we hail bear the sun.
That is such a great song.
Well, it's a great song.
And he's still alive and still performing.
Yeah. Oh, I guarantee that's what they want him to play every time he shows up. He's got to play
Is that Sundown?
Oh, they would throw rocks at him if he didn't play that one.
He's got a few songs. He's got a few. He once said, I heard an interview with him about 5 years ago where he basically pretty much said the Beatles got help writing all their songs. And it wasn't George Martin he was talking about.
About him?
No, he was just saying that there are other people that helped the Beatles write their songs.
And they secretly wouldn't bring them in on it
right.
for money? Oh, my God. Well, why wouldn't those people complain, though, unless they got paid off?
See, was that the Beatles or was that Brian Epstein?
No, that was Beatles.
Well, if they were willing to make a
no
deal.
one said a word about the interview. Didn't. If I'm interviewing him, I'm going,
excuse
what?
me.
Excuse me?
All right, name me 3 guys. What are you talking about here? Well, it must have been, although if they made a deal and said, keep my name out of it, but I'll give you, here's $10,000 or whatever.
I mean, we all knew that George Martin helped on a lot of stuff, played the piano, did a lot of stuff. There's Billy Preston that came in, Clapton. But he was talking about people came in and helped him write the song. I'm like, no, come on, man.
Well, hey, I don't we heard, and I got a couple of thank you things. We got a lot of, God, we got so much stuff here to do. A quick thing, President Stupid showers with daughter. apparently has pardoned the 2 turkeys, Pervert and Sniffer, for the Thanksgiving holidays. So I thought I'd just pass it along for you. A couple of thank you notes. Again, I meant to the bank to put a nice little check in here. We got a very nice note from Jerry, who says, I miss the radio shows. The only station I pick up here is You Know Who, and I can't tolerate that Von Skudder bidding bomb. Anyway, whatever happened to Brett the truck driver, fresh from the hood, flush the lines. He said you can still do Johnny Midnight. I got to do it Johnny Midnight.
Sure you do.
I got to do it Johnny Midnight. Sure I do.
You know, you could do an Olympic thing for the World Cup.
I could do that too. Wish you had a more stable schedule, but I understand Flounder has responsibilities to his real job. Enjoy the shows. By the way, you should sue Bosley. No offense. With a big laugh. And he said, who did Red Neckerson? Remember Red? Remember Red Neckerson? And I'll tell you who did Red Neckerson. It was on QXI and then also WSB. Now, why the hell didn't I write this down? I swear to God, I can't believe. His name is Jerry Corey. Gary Corey, I believe it is. I can't believe I didn't write that down. His last name is Corey, Corry, and he died, I think, in 2010. I swear to God, I wrote this down, and I don't know why I can't find it. Anyway, so thank you, Jerry, and I already wrote him a thank you note. Also, we got a very nice note here from our friend Pam in California. Happy Thanksgiving, and she talks about seeing the horse videos and reminds of a dear horse my friend's parents owned when I was a teenager. Ex-racehorses are so sweet, dum-da-dum. As a cat lover, I'm enjoying watching Lucas become more comfortable around all of you guys. He's a very pretty tabby and a cute sidekick for you all. Give him a treat from me. Thanks again. Hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Your friend from L.A., Pam, which is so sweet. Let's see. Speaking of the holidays, did you ever do what the hell do they call them? A Advent calendar. Did you ever have?
I'm not
your
Catholic.
Family?
No, we're Protestant. We never did that.
But,
They have Godzilla ones now, though.
We were Catholic. We grew up Catholic.
Did you have an Advent calendar?
Yes.
And I was reading today, some of the Advent calendars available now
Godzilla.
are a little outrageous.
You get a little monster that he fought.
You can get almost anything, I guess. You can get holiday ornaments, Marvel characters,
doggies,
socks, teas, drinking teas, chocolates. There's a L'Occitane, which is an Advent calendar with 24 products for normal dry skin.
Just how the apostles envisioned it.
That's $80. A dozen socks from Marvel Avengers, wearable collector socks. That's for $32. Kids can get Lego City Advent calendars with different buildable mini presents. Those are $35. If you want to go big time Charlie, you can get a box of jewels. Awe-inspired 12-day Advent calendar available in 14-karat yellow gold. $455 for the Advent calendar. Anyway, it goes on and on and on.
We would do for us, what we would do is, it starts November 27th.
I
It pretty much goes from the end of November to the end of December.
Yeah.
But what we would do is each week we would light one candle at dinner, and the following week we would light another candle, and by Christmas we would have all 4 candles.
Yeah, but again, I was baptized.
That makes
Methodist,
you Jewish,
so.
by the way. So you're not officially a Jew.
Jewish, please, Jewish.
Yeah.
I said a Jew, not the Jew.
Oh my God! And by the way, I made one more note here, and I forgot to pass this along. I have to tell you about these stupid jeans. And since Wayne, no offense, has already made fun of my lack of fanny. These are the same size jeans I wore 50 years ago, and more. Which, and by the way, I realized that this morning, and when I put them on, I said, "Oh my God!" I said, when I was 30, I used, wore them. 25.
Are they a little big? Are they a little tight?
They're not tight at all. They're quite comfortable, and I would
do a couple hot water washes, get them really.
Oh, they may shrink a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, I washed them last night, and so they fit great. Anyway, so that's my one happiness.
We're 30 minutes in the show. We've already done 2 segments on your jeans.
Sorry. I have to, I don't get much to brag about these days. Also, I did not watch Yellowstone. I'm still ticked off about the way they killed that horse, and I'm not very happy about it. Well, I'm not. No, sir, I don't like it. Let's see. A couple of things. Again, we mentioned the University of Idaho case. That is so freaking strange to me. I don't understand anything about it. And the nightclub shooting. Everybody's always trying to find something about something. Again, this was a Colorado Springs. A very bizarre case, but you may know the commentator and conservative talker Matt Walsh. He shows up on Fox quite a bit. Matt Walsh tweeted out, leftists are using a mass shooting to try to blackmail us into accepting the castration and sexualization of children. These people are just beyond evil. I have never felt more motivated to oppose everything they stand for in every fiber of my being. Despicable scumbags. People die, and the first thing they think is, yes, we can use this ammo against conservatives who don't think children should be exposed to drag shows. Well, some of the reaction. Matt Walsh isn't upset that someone shot up a gay bar. He's upset that more people weren't killed. A little harsh. He's doubling down on the LGBTQ people, doubling down and wants more of it. This is entirely on people like Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, and Chaya Raichik. She's that TikTok
They're trying to make it where you can't criticize them ever again.
Exactly.
And we will continue to criticize you.
Exactly.
And we don't want people shot and killed, but if you're trying to mess with children, we will continue to criticize you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they name more names, conspirators, collaborators. It just stop it.
Yeah.
That's
why I'm not paying attention anymore.
I know.
It's the same crowd saying the same shit every time.
You're
not going to keep me. You're not going to shut me up. So you can just give it up.
Well, and again, we're not stopping. We're definitely not stopping. A couple of funny things about Elon Musk. There are tweets going around. There's one of a picture of a crying baby. Of the picture, and it says, a crying baby, and the slogan says, "I'm leaving Twitter, but first I'm going to tweet about leaving Twitter, and then I'm going to stick around to see what everybody else thinks about me leaving Twitter."
Rob Reiner is still on.
I know. I thought you were
time,
going to Canada.
Everyone says, "Why are you still here?" Every time.
Again, it's just unbelievable. And of course, when when he said, "Oh, Donald Trump," we did a survey. Donald Trump is allowed back on if he wants to. Oh no! It's like when they started screaming at the moon when he won the election.
Did you see CBS left Twitter on Saturday?
Yeah,
and they came back on Sunday.
Yeah, Elon Musk is poking fun at CBS's short-lived Twitter hiatus after the resume Twitter meeting less than 48 hours later. He said 48-hour hiatus due to uncertainty with a platform under his management. The network is suspending all Twitter usage. And then it will resume Sunday as it continues monitoring security concerns they have since the billionaire took over the company. Excuse me. Musk tweeted his new policy at Twitter was freedom of speech. This is important. New Twitter policy is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. Negative hate tweets will be max deboosted and demonetized, so no ads or other revenue to Twitter. After pausing for much of the weekend to assess the security concerns, CBS News is resuming its activity on Twitter, continuing to monitor the situation. Musk responded with a giggle emoji, which is pretty funny. Nora O'Donnell is focusing on Twitter turmoil in light of the mass resignations of employees offended by Elon Musk telling them to go back to work. The chaos, and quote from a disgruntled former engineer who claimed the culture of Twitter under Musk was one of fear and anxiety, made such an impression on CBS that they decided not to be on it. CBS widely mocked on the platform, defenders tweeting out laughing emojis and memes pointing at the shortest virtue signal ever. Also, Elon, which is pretty funny, by the way. And Musk didn't stop there. He now is calling the New York Times boring, far-left brainwashing at this point for the New York Times. He said, it's tragic how far the New York Times has fallen. Basically, just boring and far-left brainwashing at this point. The boring part is truly unforgivable. This was in response to an author named Matt Taibbi. Taibbi said, while the Times said that America doesn't deserve former President Donald Trump, doesn't deserve him, especially after winning a Pulitzer for a story botched over the years. Remember, the New York Times and others were winning Pulitzer Prizes for their story about Russian collusion, including one that read, Trump campaign advisor met with Russian to discuss dirt on Clinton. Musk officially reinstated Trump's Twitter account after posting a poll. Millions said yes, 52% basically. 15 million people voted. And also the Babylon Bee is back too, which we thought was also.
And so is Jordan Peterson.
And Jordan Peterson. And they're also going after that TikTok. What's the conservative TikTok girl who shows what's her title? The girl who says how stupid TikTok is and shows the conservative viewpoint. Come on, you're not helping me here. There's a girl famous on TikTok who outs.
I don't do TikTok.
She's on Fox News all the time. She outs the liberals on TikTok.
Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok. That's what I was looking for.
That's an account.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and she's back in the world again. Anyway, okay, Jesus, God in heaven. All right.
Well, you kept on saying she. It's not a her. It's an account.
Well, it is a woman behind it, but still.
It's a girl. All right, hold on a second.
By the way, hey, Kimmer, holding on a second, brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. That's Atlanta Custom Closets. Christmas is coming up, and ladies love closets.
Yes, they
This
do.
is a great gift. We are not kidding. Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net.
I ask you this. Think of any administration in your lifetime, or that you've read about, in the first 2 years that has done more damage than this one for its actual policies, not as a reaction to world events.
I can't think of one.
I mean, I got to thinking about this because of the Republicans are now saying we're going to probe Hunter, we're going to get to the banking, and I got to thinking to myself, all this stuff, and of course the Democrats are saying, oh, it's just revenge, you're just trying to get back at somebody. Well, but think, I mean, really think about this. Other than, having a world war and affecting a nation and draft and all the men going over in 1942 going to war, but other than world events shaping something, I can't think of another administration that deliberately, through its policies, brought the country down in so many categories in the first 2 years, sunk the nation. Jimmy Carter wasn't as bad with his malaise thing. Nope. I mean, at least he had. It was kind of a bad time when gas prices were high, and when Nixon had a problem with gas, and remember he had the wage fixation and stuff like that. But still, nobody had that was a reaction to what's going on in the world. Nobody's had policies that deliberately made the nation sink for the first 2 years like this guy.
Yeah, and it's deliberate, too. They
on purpose.
They killed the gas and oil companies, yeah.
He stops it. We're no longer energy independent. CRT, racism at the bottom of everything, a division of race in this country.
Inflation.
Inflation, gasoline prices. Thanksgiving is going to cost 20% more than last year, which cost 20% more than the year before. So, I mean, everything. Look at everything.
Screwing up the military.
Education of our children falling so far behind. The woke military. Nobody trusts us around the world that we're a laughing stock now. Look what Saudi Arabia is saying. Screw you, and you want gas from us? Yeah, in your ear, Jack. I mean, the whole world is laughing at us. All these things, and it's been done deliberately, trying to take federal control of elections, trying to change the laws of the land before they lose power. I mean, it's just, God, I've never seen anything like it. And then, and this is a perfect example of how bad it's gotten. I didn't even hear about this, but now there's a report from the FBI and Homeland Security, and they all have to go, that now is saying that they didn't do enough they're faulting social media platforms and haven't done enough because of the spread of violent and anti-government content on social media, failing to adequately monitor domestic extremists. The Senate Homeland Security panel, run by a Democrat from Michigan, has said, we aren't responding to the overall threat of homegrown terrorism and extremism.
Where?
Yeah, like what?
Where is it?
This is that same thing. Remember when President Stupid actually said the most dangerous thing that happening in America today is domestic extremism and domestic terrorism. The same people who go to school boards and raise their voice are domestic terrorists now because of these people. And this Democrat report says, well, we're not doing enough to clamp down on hate speech and violent anti-government content. Growing domestic extremism has been linked to the country's widening political divide. Nonsense. What are they talking about?
If we were a problem, you'd know it.
Yeah, well, here's what they're talking about. Radicalizing extremists say the misinformation and hate speech spread online is fueling the problem, encouraging real-world violence like the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Oh, my God.
We should have more
And
of
again,
those.
here we go.
Did you see
Here we
that
go.
bit of sound I sent you this morning? The guy in Maricopa County?
Yeah, look, should we play
You
that?
wanna play that?
And, James
have that?
Woods. In fact, I want to talk about how the
I sent it to both
GOP is
of you
going
this morning.
Via text?
It's a guy in Maricopa County who's in front of the voting board or whatever, the election
he
board.
looks like a homeless hippie bum.
It's a white guy with dreadlocks.
Yeah, but he looks like a totally shiftless character. And James Woods said, if I saw this guy on the street, I wouldn't have paid him a nickel worth of attention because he looks just like just a goofball. But James Woods was the one who reacted to this comment, which is why I think that may be why you spotted it. Made Twitter. Anyway, was it the Arizona? Where was he testifying?
Maricopa County.
Maricopa County, which is Phoenix, Arizona, about their election and all the problems they had. Okie dokie.
World are upon. Good morning. Once again, the eyes of the world are upon Maricopa County for another botched election. Am I here to accuse you of stealing the vote? Heavens no, for that would make me a terrorist, wouldn't it? Let me ask you, if you took your life savings to a bank and the teller put them in a machine and the machine kicked out 1 out of 4 of your bills and the teller said, don't worry, we'll put them in box 3 over here and we'll let you know how many were in there later. We'll send them off to a separate location and someone will be sure to get back to you and tell you how much money you have. Would you be okay with that? No, you would not be okay with that. Now ask yourself the question, which is more valuable, your vote or your money? Now ask a lobbyist that same question. Now ask a campaign manager that question. Now ask Mark Zuckerberg that question, which is more valuable, your money or your vote or your country or this world or the corruption that is taking over every single county in this nation? And then you look into your own soul and you look back at yourself in the mirror and realize that you are the cancer that is tearing this nation apart. Good day.
Boom. I can't believe they didn't try to stop
I
him.
know. Well, good luck.
You're out of order, sir.
Kind of looks a little bit
The crowd
reminded me of Sam Kinison a little bit.
Say it! But, I mean, wow. I mean, boom. And again, this is so encouraging. Every little example like this that we can pass along, we can't stop.
And this is how you let the pressure valve escape.
Right.
So the air escape, so you don't have violence.
Right.
But the left, the Democrats, are trying to shut off
Shut him down. That's right.
him speaking like this
And
and
the
social
alternative-
media, and that's how you make people violent.
That's right. If you can't speak, there's going to be a steam pot that's going to blow its top. And that's
maybe
why
it
people
should.
show up at the Capitol and start. And again, when the Capitol thing happened January 6th, when I first saw those people climbing up the steps of the Capitol and kind of hanging up, I was cheering. I said, oh my God, what a great, I mean, it was fabulous. The people have stormed the Capitol. They weren't breaking things. They were just on the steps, jumping up and down. There were people on the turrets.
It's
on
our house.
It's the people's house. And I thought, holy cow, I've never seen anything so emboldening and so patriotic as the people saying, we're here here at the Capitol, and this is what we believe. And I thought, man, talk about a legitimate protest, unlike Antifa and Black Lives Matter, where it's all violent and nasty and negative and hateful. I mean, I just thought it was really wonderful. And then, some bad things happened to a very, very small percentage.
Well, the FBI did encourage them to
the
do
FBI
stuff.
started it. They had the undercover agents here fomenting the violence. The cops all opened the doors. Nancy Pelosi refused to put any security out there. They all knew that FBI had people inside all those Proud Boys and every other committee knowing that there might have been a problem and still did nothing to stop it because they wanted it to happen. And Nancy Botoxi knew that there was going to be a possible issue, and she refused to call out security. She said no. And there's only one possible explanation why she would not have security if they were afraid of having violence. They wanted it to happen.
They were probably overjoyed to watch what was happening.
Anyway, and speaking of that, and it's time to get back. And again, I don't care what the reaction of the Democrats is. We can't stop. We need to get to the bottom of all of it. Not only the Russian collusion with Trump, but everything with the Biden family. And now Kevin McCarthy, I'll believe it when I see it, but he's trying to play sort of tough guy because he's going to be taking over this as the majority leader again in the House. He has vowed at least to remove Democrats Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff-for-Brains and Ilhan Omar, that skanky, nasty, hate-filled MFer from the Congressional Committee, from their committee when the Republicans take over. He said he'll keep his promise to get rid of Swalwell and Schiff-for-Brains from the House Intelligence Committee and Omar, that nasty, black-hearted terrorist, from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Swalwell's association when he was banging a Chinese spy, and Schiff-for-Brains promoting the Steele dossier. Every day, he said, I've seen the evidence of Trump's collusion with the Russians, and the Steele dossier proves it. Disqualifies them from serving on their respective panels. They said, why would we ever give Swalwell a security clearance and the secrets to America? I will not allow him to be on the Intelligence Committee. And Adam Schiff, quote, who lied to the American public time and again, will not allow him to be on the Intel Committee either. Let's see, going forward, Congressman Omar, anti-Semitic, hate-filled stuff on foreign affairs? I don't think so. Another issue, and speaking of the FBI, I did not hear about this case, but here's another example of the FBI showing its politics against regular people who may have posted something on the web which they don't like. There's a website called Gesundheit there, sir. That was what you were talking about, the sneeze button? He muffled. He muffled. He was good. There's a Gesundheit again, sir. Area 51 website is owned by a guy who is speaking out because federal agents raided his homes at gunpoint, broke down the doors, investigating a crime that he has no idea that ever even happened. He's a proprietor of the website Area 51, Jorg Arnu. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. He has a themed website, dreamlandresort.com. He said, I discussed this case with an attorney specializing in federal cases. I've learned it was truly incredible. A much bigger story than that of the raid on my home is what they've done to me and my girlfriend, two unarmed, innocent people. He said 15 to 20 armed federal SWAT teams from the Air Force and the FBI raided two Nevada homes he owns with his girlfriend, including one home where he was present. Agents busted through his door, yanked him and his girlfriend outside, where they were detained and treated in the most disrespectful way. He still doesn't know what he did other than having a website. An agent told him during the raid the incident was related to images posted on my Area 51 website. He claims there was damage to his homes, including broken down doors, hard drives were taken, cameras, all his other equipment. I have not been charged with a crime. All my attempts to reach out to the FBI, at least get my much needed medical and financial records and passwords on my seized computer back. Crickets from the FBI. He said he and his girlfriend were led out into the street barefoot in her underwear in full view of the neighbors during the raid. He was led outside handcuffed in only a T-shirt and sweats in sub-freezing temperatures. The federal government, he says, has the right to harass and try. This is the FBI. harass and traumatize random citizens that are not accused of any crime, kick in their doors, manhandle them, and take whatever they want from them. Said citizens have no rights whatsoever to reimburse of their damages, return of their property, or compensation for the trauma they were subjected to. The Air Force SWAT team was there. The Nellis Air Force Base commander said there was an open investigation into this guy Arnu, but I really can't talk about it. Oh, you can't talk about it. Oh, okay, as long as you can't talk about it.
And when they get the hard drives, they can put anything on those hard
That's
drives
right.
they want and claim it was yours.
Yeah, how, you going to disprove it?
How can you?
Unless you had another copy, but then they'll say, oh, you faked that one or limit. I mean, you can't do anything. I mean, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. Let's see.
You take some out with you, I guess,
Yeah.
is the only repercussion you have.
And
you want to do that.
And one more incident about, speaking of our woke military. A new report shows that the Pentagon is promoting critical race theory and gender identity insanity. President Sleep Showers with Daughter has had extensive diversity and equity initiatives in the military for the armed forces. A new report by the GOP says our military's singular purpose is to provide for the common defense of the nation. It can't be turned into a left-wing social experiment, cannot be used as a cudgel against America itself and paralyzed by fear of offending somebody. The world is a dangerous place, and the Biden administration's insanity is eroding our greatest source of security in it. Marco Rubio and some others have detailed how the resources to root out extremism in its ranks, promoting predominantly left-wing ideas on race and gender. Military employees are promoted on critical race theory and anti-white views. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, the former defense contractor, by the way, who's more concerned about woke pedicures than anything else, has demanded that commanding officers and supervisors at all levels schedule a day to discuss extremism, countering extremist activity in the military. Even though there are 2.1 active forces, and the number of cases of extremism in the military of 2.1 million forces is 100. That's 0.005%. That's half a thousandth of a percent. Instructors at military academies use anti-racist approaches to education, directing soldiers to center their understanding of American society on acknowledgement of its racist past and present. The Department of Defense, however, emphasizes it does not teach critical race theory and is focused on challenging its military students intellectually and rooting out extremism that way. Oh, challenging intellectually. Anyway, parroting woke nonsense. How about thinking about how to kill the enemy? The woke policy, this girl, Calissa Wing, the Chief Diversity and Equity Inclusivity Officer at the Department of Defense. That alone says it. She's exhausted, quote, exhausted with these white folks, F-O-L-X, and suggests that black people are incapable of racism, comments that sparked ongoing probes at the agency, and they're still not done with that. Anyway, she's a big fan of the 1619 Project that shows we're all racist and stuff. Just unbelievable.
We're not going anywhere. That's what they want. They want us to go away. We're not going anywhere.
No, we're not going anywhere. In fact, I'll tell you, if you wanted to go someplace and you have something wrong with the glass in your SUV or your RV or your camper, well, by golly, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to get a hold of Wise RV Glass. Wise, W-I-S-E. Wise RV Glass will replace all the glass or fix all the glass issues of any kind in your RV or motor coach or camper. Maybe it's something as simple as fogged up double pane windows, or you might have a little spiderweb crack or something, or a full thing or whatever. It could be in one of those hard to find flat one-piece front windshields in certain RVs and SUVs, or even a side view mirror or a back window. And you're thinking, I've got a side view mirror. No. No job is too small. Wise RV Glass does this for a living, so they love this stuff. They'll come to where you are. That's the key. You get a hold of them. I'll give you a phone number and a website. and they come to you, replace the glass issue, take care of the issue in your own window frame and your own customer's frame, and it saves you time and money, and it's all mobile service, all of North Georgia, all of Metro Atlanta, no job too big or too small. These fine folks, Russell has taken over the son. Dad, Carl, retired a while ago, and they've been part of, they actually are a double sponsor, not only the podcast, but also the podcast Facebook page, and to that we're very grateful. Wise, W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass, here's the number, area 470-345-6521, and on the web, wiservglass.com. There you go. Okie dokie. Oh, one more quick thing on freedom, and I don't want to talk about all that stuff like this all day long. But this is pretty. There's a Stanford professor who challenged the lockdowns during the China kill virus, and he says he's a professor of medicine at Stanford. Okay, he's probably pretty smart guy.
Yeah, probably. I'd say so.
Okay. He says academic freedom is dead. And his life became a living hell for challenging coronavirus lockdown orders and the scientific clerisy during the pandemic. The basic premise is that if you don't have protection and academic freedom in the hard cases, when a faculty member has an idea that's unpopular among some of the other faculty, powerful faculty, if they don't protect it in that case, then you're all going to be in trouble. He came under fire during the pandemic for co-authoring a declaration, an open letter signed by thousands of doctors in 2020 denouncing the lockdowns as harmful. This man is a director of Stanford Center for Demography and Economics of Health and Aging. The declaration was denounced by other health leaders, including the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, headed by Dr. Anthony Fauci, who slammed the document for herd immunity, calling it nonsense and very dangerous. He says we live in a high clerisy that declares from on high what is true and what is not true. When you take a position that is at odds with the scientific clerisy, your life becomes a living hell. You face a hostile, deeply hostile work environment. He got death threats, hate mail, questions where he gets his money. Most of my money's come from the NIH for my entire life, telling the public that what they're going through is ridiculous. Anyway, there's a chill on the campus. Stanford's even falling to this stuff. And it's just, when guys like that have this kind of problem.
Did you see? They wouldn't let us travel anywhere if you didn't take the shot.
Yeah.
They've now eased that. So now you can travel again to most countries. You can travel.
Right.
Even without the shot. WHO is now trying to get this thing put in through the United Nations where basically they're going to bring back the vaccine passports, not just for this vaccine, but any vaccine they feel that you should have, and basically control your very movement around the world. And I'm thinking, God, if I want to start visiting these places, I better go now because I'm never taking that damn shot. So if they pull this vaccine passport crap, I won't be able to go anywhere.
Let's remember the WHO is deeply involved in the scandal of the China kill virus and the cover-up and who knew what and all the research that was hidden. They helped China get rid of it, basically helped China get rid of the evidence. They said, they said, China, the same guy who was at the head of WHO was also the same guy who said, that pandemic we had in, was it Nigeria or someplace years ago? That was really not that big a deal. He totally defended China as showing as a wonderful example of how you crack down trying to prevent a pandemic from happening in the first place. They had great procedures in place. Oh my God. I mean, who's he trying to kid?
They sealed people in their apartments.
I mean, I can't. I will never forget the video of the Chinese authorities. Was it in? It was I can't remember. It was in Hong Kong or I remember where it was. And the little boy in a hazmat suit with the legs dragging behind him because he was only this tall and the legs were for an adult-sized thing, dragging his legs behind him, crying while they're screaming at him, over there, over there, over there, by himself. No family, no adults helping, nobody holding his hand, adults screaming at him in China to go over to that section where he can be quarantined, alone by himself.
And let's not, we'll just pick on the Chinese. The damn Australians put together concentration camps.
A neighbor against neighbor.
And they still have them.
Yeah, they were roaming the neighborhoods looking for people who were outside on their porch.
In California, a guy's on his little paddle board by himself in the ocean.
right, in California.
And they sent the Coast Guard out
Yeah,
after him.
Get him, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And their governor wants to be your next president.
I saw something else. Michigan has 10.3 million people.
Yeah.
It's the same size as Sweden.
Yeah.
Sweden didn't shut down. They kept their schools open. They kept just the society going, the small businesses and everything. They're the model for scooting through this thing with the least amount of deaths. Meanwhile, Michigan, a record amount of deaths, like 3 times as many as Sweden did. And they reelect that bitch governor who did that to them.
I can't believe it. And they have, one of the worst congresswomen, too. I mean, just, nasty, hate-filled, vicious, anti-American. I don't get it.
You don't hear much from her anymore. You notice that?
Yeah, or Ocasio-Bang.
No, you hear it. She's still running her mouth.
Occasionally,
but the other two,
both
very
the other
quiet.
Yeah, the one who married her brother to get into the country and all. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very quiet. Let's see. God. Oh, medical advice?
Oh, medical advice.
Speaking of medicine?
Yes. Laughter is the best medicine.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Unless you have diarrhea.
All right, then. In fact, when I had prostate cancer, when you have I had chemo and I had 5 weeks of daily radiation, and which actually was people say, oh my God, I went to work every day. My entire cancer thing. I think I missed 3 days of work. Anyway.
I lost that. I had the over. So.
Yeah, I mean between the surgery and the 5 weeks of radiation every day and the chemo and stuff, I think I missed 3 days of work for the entire cancer thing. But the doctor told me, said, now, okay, after this. For a while, it'll get better, but for a while, be careful that you don't laugh too hard or cough too loud, because if you do, chances are that a little something might happen.
A little something, something.
A little something, something. So, and it never did, but I guarantee you, I kept thinking about it.
I was watching a game.
If you're in the middle of an elevator or something and somebody cracks a joke, uh-oh.
I was watching a college game Saturday, and the guy said that instead of saying that he came up short, he said he came up short. And he went short.
It's a shard is something else entirely. Well, part of it was a fart. Anyway.
That's a great scene. Was it Along Came Polly where God, who's
Ben,
Jerry? Ben something.
The
comedian.
son of
Ben Stiller.
Stiller, yeah.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman's his friend, and they're at an art gallery. He comes to him, we gotta go. We gotta go. Yeah, where do we gotta go? We just got here. We gotta go. Why? I just sharted. What the hell's a shart?
You don't want to know. You really don't want to know. Oh, mercy. Anyway. Let's see. Jessica. Holiday food. Should we tell them
do that
what we're doing
tomorrow.
for holiday?
We'll do the holiday show tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll do it tomorrow.
Should we mention our schedule for this week?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. And here's, it is Thanksgiving week. Today is the 22nd of November.
21st.
21st of November. Yeah. This is show number 500.
I know.
Show number 500.
500.
Bing, boom. And the 21st. Now, this week, we normally do 3 podcasts a week. This week, we're going to do 2 podcasts. And I think we should just go ahead and say this. Well, let's do the podcast tomorrow, and we'll go live on Facebook and YouTube. But I'm betting that of all the thousands of people don't have the opportunity to watch it live, and they still get the podcast on their phone or radio. So we'll post it. We'll do it live tomorrow, Tuesday, for those who are watching live. But
audio
we'll post it
format
on either
Wednesday.
late Tuesday or Wednesday. So you will get 2 podcasts.
Yeah, so the YouTube version will be available tomorrow. The audio format will be available Wednesday.
We'll do it on Wednesday, which is a more normal thing. And tomorrow's show will be basically a Thanksgiving show and whatever.
We'll do the Kara reads the recipe.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have
that's
that
a
ready.
great idea. In fact, have we got any other Thanksgiving stuff from the old day? Anything you might have saved?
Nothing really worth playing.
And now I mentioned also, I sent you a note concerning a possible musical rendition of something for tomorrow.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
That's fine. Now, anything like that? Let's do a bunch of stuff like that. We'll just have fun and Thanksgiving.
I've got recipes and jokes. I got a Thanksgiving joke.
Absolutely. The founding of Thanksgiving and the people, and we'll do it.
Oh, no, we're not.
Well, it won't be. It'll be, just for the record, we have to, make sure we're doing things. And I believe the true Thanksgiving was the American native people and the white settlers were all happy together and loved each other and had their special Thanksgiving.
That's what happened,
share.
right? That's
Well,
what
that's
they
what
all had a
that
big.
did happen. They were friendly for that dinner.
Right, for that particular dinner.
And then Miles Standish invited the Indians to another dinner,
Yeah, after the
in which
second
he
one.
jumped up and stabbed them to death.
Well, no, let's not, all right, we don't need it was a whole different culture. It was,
That happened later.
live and learn. God,
They asked for it.
I don't know. I'm just saying. So anyway, so
They
we'll
don't
do
teach that in third grade.
They don't teach that in third grade whatsoever. No, sir, they definitely don't. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to do that. I got a little Dylan thing later. I'm going to do that.
Kim, we're looking at his phone, brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. And now a special thing. They do all the shirts, your custom shirts, hats, signs. It's still time. If you call them right now, get laser engraving on cups or signs, leather, whatever. You mention the Kimmer Podcast, you will get 10% off your order between now and Thanksgiving. So you got a couple more days to get this in. Maybe today, the next 3 days.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm talking with Eric later on today about some stuff because this is just a great idea. FarmhousePrintingCo.com, and they'll take care of it. Could be one thing. You could order one thing, one picture on one T-shirt, and they'll be happy to do it.
But why do that when you can have 1,000?
Order them for all your friends and family.
That's right.
Anyway, and anything you're looking for, engraving, and I mean they're really good
Tumblers,
people. Yep.
cups.
And again, I'm telling you, the shopping season isn't just. I noticed this weekend, all of a sudden they're everywhere. So
I'm
here
going
we go.
to try and do more local shopping this year. I'm going to do less on Amazon and more going, because I used to go to the mall every year, Lennox, and you'd walk around, you'd watch the people, you'd see stuff and go, oh gosh, that would be great.
Yeah.
And it was part of the fun. The Christmas music was playing.
You know where you should go walk around?
Not Lennox, I know that.
That's what I'm saying. Go drive up to Avalon. Avalon's a cool place to park. I mean, it's
There's no parking there.
There's no. That's Avalon is an incredible.
It's probably
experience,
safer.
but I'm sure it probably is.
Lennox.
It's got a lot of high end stores. I mean, it's not a cheap. Avalon is big time.
Well, I can look.
But it has regular stuff and hamburger joints.
Is it outside or inside?
outside.
That's like San Diego. Their malls are outside.
Yeah,
It's really weird.
It's not. Yeah, it's streets. But the problem is there's no parking, and the only parking you'll find is in a parking garage.
Yeah?
And
Because I always park. I park. You know where Ted's is. Ted's Montana.
Yeah.
Anyway, like if you're driving down, what is Avalon? What road is that?
West Side Parkway, and then no, that's not.
Not Haynes Bridge.
No, North Point Boulevard. North Point.
No,
North
it's
Point
why
Street.
you get off 400. What's the
No,
road
it's-
you get off 400?
Oh, Haynes Bridge.
Is
No,
it
it's the one.
Haynes
It's the
Or
one
Old
after
Milton.
Haynes Bridge.
or El
Yeah,
Milton?
Haynes Bridge or the one after it. But I think it's Haynes Bridge and
And it goes right by Avalon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, when you take a left there to get off, and it's right up on the right. You just park right there where the building is. I always park right there.
Yeah, but isn't that it's either West Side Parkway that keeps going into it, or it's North Point Mall. But anyway, but there's no. It's very hard to find parking there. And a thing I hate about Avalon is that the streets. You can't tell whether it's a street or a walkway.
narrow.
I mean, it's just there. You can't see anything. They go at weird angles, and there's people everywhere. I mean, it's
like
just
Europe.
It's a madhouse.
It's like Europe,
Yeah,
driving around
I
there.
hate going there. But it's.
I can't tell you how many people I hit driving through Europe.
Oh God.
Get into That's kind of like your Ambien night. I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I killed the guy. I'm sorry. I'm sure if it.
You know, we could probably look up the
No,
records.
no. I'm not going to narrow it down for you. I'm sorry.
No,
That ain't going to happen.
suspicious death, never solved.
A couple of weird things in the news here today I thought were rather bizarre. A judge has decided that Forsyth County schools must allow profanity at their meetings. There was a lawsuit brought by parents concerning the books they find in the library that are offensive. So they wanted to read them into the public record.
Yep.
Well, a U.S. district judge named Story says Forsyth County schools must stop enforcing some of the board meeting rules while the lawsuit continues. Members of the public shall conduct themselves in a respectful manner, it says. Another says in part of the rule, remarks shall not be addressed to individual board members, keeping remarks civil. The use of obscene or threatening or abusive remarks will not be allowed. Loud and boisterous conduct or comments by speakers and members are not allowed. Well, the judge said Forsyth cannot enforce the rule requiring respectfulness or against personally addressing board members. The school district also cannot enforce rules requiring civility and prohibiting profanity or abusive language. The group Mama Bears said they're scandalized by the books available to children in the school district. The same strategy has been working in Cherokee County. They read books and they get her banished from the school board meetings at her middle school. This is about polluting the minds of children. Well, the judge said his order did not strike down the school board policy restricting obscene remarks or boisterous conduct or comments. So you can't go nuts. But just if you're reading bad things that are in the library, you ought to be able to say it in front of the school board.
But you shouldn't be able to go up there and just cuss like a sailor.
No, you can't do that. But he said, you can't stop them from reading things that are in the public schools because that's what you're there for. But again, that's how far these leftists are going. They don't want you to say anything.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
yes,
I'm trepidatious about this.
Yeah, trepidatious. I'm not sure that's. I think you left out a syllable. Maybe not.
Go ahead.
No.
I'm all for learning. Correct me. If I said something wrong, tell me. I'm trepidatious about this. Obviously, that's wrong.
All right. So I
what
think
is it?
it's
What is
clearly cool. And why have you used the word? Are we doing a new thing? A word a day?
No,
kind of a Pictionary, something? Or
Wayne has weighed in.
Wayne, no offense.
Wayne says
This is like twice today. What's going on with him?
He's unemployed.
Yeah,
I don't
something.
know.
Was he do something over at that
It's
place?
Thanksgiving week. He's
Okay.
off.
Oh, he's probably not working.
Nobody's flying this week, so it's no big
he's
deal.
probably flying to Europe for free just to see
Just for
what's
the hell
going on with the little
him
people.
and Sly just fly the world. He says, thank Kimmer for my new ringtone. So he has got a new ringtone. Should we play it?
I have no. How did I give him a ringtone?
I don't know. Should we play it?
Absolutely.
All right, we're taking a risk here because God knows what he has on here. All right, let's see here.
Counting machines or something.
That's perfect.
Well, I used to play I was a first chair trombone player in the All-State Band, and I was known for my triple tonguing. Well, a lot of ways to do it, baby. Oh my God, we're going down in flames.
Don't say that around Wayne. That's not a good thing.
Another school thing, just for bizarre situation. Chattahoochee High School, an administrator named Jonathan Adell is suspended while they look into a relationship he apparently was having with a student at the school, at Chattahoochee High School. He oversees the English and Fine Arts departments. Began working at the Johns Creek High School in January. Oh, wait a minute now. Jonathan Adell, Principal Todd said no details of the investigation, didn't say where or when the inappropriate conduct occurred. Fulton County Schools, it is never acceptable for an adult in the role of authority to be in a relationship inappropriately with a student or young person. We're very concerned the allegations involved a student. 4 years ago, another Chattahoochee staff member got kicked out after he had raped a 13-year-old girl at the same school as his daughter goes to. Former social studies and swim coach, sentenced to 25 years in prison. God, how could anybody not know that if you're working? I mean, and by the way, I know you know how sexy these young girls are in high school. I mean, they're women. It's not like it when it's just not like it used to be. Whether it's strontium 90 in the milk, I don't know what's going on.
Hormones in the hamburgers.
I mean, these girls are not 14, 15, 16-year-old girl. It's a woman. And I mean, anyway, but you can't get involved with a kid at school. I mean, who doesn't know that? Anyway, and no matter how much again, when I was teaching in I was only 4 years older than all the kids when I was a teacher at graduate school, but still, they were flirting. There were some girls who were flirting with me, which is, but still, you can't. I was, of course, married. I had no interest. But anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no. Well, there was one girl named Kim. Her name was Kim, and she was a bleach blonde because one day her hair was almost green. She really got a bad bleach blonde, and she would sit there in the front row. She was hot, teeny little blonde, and she would dangle her little shoe from her little. Anyway, one more bizarre thing. Again, I just think this is fair and it's legal, but I don't like it.
No, sir.
The Cobb County Superior Court clerk is named Connie Taylor, and an investigation showed recently that she has personally pocketed $425,000 in 2 years in passport fees above her salary. State law allows Superior Court clerks who perform passport services to take the fees as personal income.
What?
She needed, there are also expedited shipping fees. For example, the county passport application process, the county charges a $35 processing fee, which the Superior Court clerk can keep as income. If the applicant wants also expedited shipping, the fee paid to the county is $24.70, along with a $60 fee paid to the State Department for faster processing. So this Connie Taylor, the Cobb clerk, said, well, I'm going to give back $84,000 of it because that was expedited fees that I really didn't deserve. Now she decided, no, I think I'll keep that too. But the law allows her, she's made $425,000.
Where are these jobs?
County clerk, Superior Court, Cobb County clerk, Connie Taylor. And again, she's not breaking the law.
I do that
but
2 or 3 years.
She's not alone. I think the same thing with the probate people too.
Really?
I think absolutely. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow. Huh. Well,
and I don't know why that's. I don't know.
I don't know why we're not there.
I mean, it's legal, so who's to say, But still, I think it's a little iffy. I'll tell you what's not iffy.
What?
My flag from flagco.com. In fact, I was putting it out this morning, wind's blowing, and it was funny because flagco.com is one of our longtime sponsors, and I got my flag from them and my mounting device and the stuff and all that. I have the white pole with the special silver thing on the top. In fact, people are noticing, my favorite ex-wife noticed not long ago that I have my Marine Corps flag, my American flag, and then I have a small Marine Corps flag on the same pole beneath the American flag. And my Marine Corps flag, I have to replace every season because my flag is in direct Western sunlight every day, Western exposure every day, all through the summer and everything else. And my flag from flagcode.com, I've had it there, 2 years? It still looks brand new. It is beautiful, red, white, and blue. My Marine Corps flag I have to replace because it gets faded from the sun. But the Flagco flag looks brand new. Now, 'tis the season. Here they got a few special offers for you. And again, by the way, it's not just American flags. Every state flag, every military flag, country flags, mounting devices. They have devices you can mount it on a brick wall if you want to. Most people can't even figure out how to do that. But they have a few special things for this holiday Christmas time season. The Starry Night Flagpole Christmas Lights. All the customer needs is a 15 to 25-foot flagpole, or they can custom build one for you. But they have cool white, warm white, red, white, and blue multicolored sets. The Starry Night comes in a mini version, including a 10-foot pole they can get for you. They all, and by the way, they're just beautiful. It's just lighting up the sky. The second special deal is a trailer hitch flagpole kit for single or double flagpoles for your trailer hitch. The third item, especially right now. What's that noise over there?
Excuse me.
Is that your chair?
Yeah, sure. I think you just, anyway.
You sharted. The third thing.
Not during an ad.
The third thing is the 20-foot telescopic pole with wheelbase. Perfect for tailgating. The base slides under a tire. You can edit that out. The third thing is notice I did an edit there. The third thing is a 20-foot telescopic pole with wheelbase, perfect for tailgating. It slides under a tire, weighs it down. When the game's over, it collapses into a little thing, bing, bang, boom, ready for the next time. Don't forget, they're looking for warehouse workers. If you're looking for work, here you go. Job opening, warehouse workers at flagcode.com. They have all the goodies and bells and whistles, and I promise you'll be happy just like I have been since the first day I talked about these guys. Here's a phone number, flagco.com. 800-962-0956, and on the web, flagco.com. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. And enjoy in time for a Christmas service. And great gifts, by the way. Send it to somebody you care about that should be flying their flag, and I guarantee you they'll appreciate it. Let's see. A couple things. We mentioned that Jerry Lee Lewis died not long ago. And I don't know whether I knew this and forgot or never knew it, but his widow The 13-year-old bride, his cousin that he married, Myra, is still not only alive, she's still in the Atlanta area. And there's a new feature story about her when they asked her for reaction to Jerry Lee Lewis passing away and so forth. Myra Lewis Williams was 13 years old. Jerry Lee Lewis, her cousin, was 22. And she's now 78 years old, lives in Gwinnett County, has a real estate office. She says, I was only 13, but I was the adult in the room. And she also says he did not take advantage of me. He surprised me, but I was a more mature person. Jerry was just having fun being a kid, goofing around, throwing bubble gum around all the time. And then she goes on to tell how she did not go to his funeral. He was eulogized in Louisiana by televangelist Jimmy Swaggart doing the services. She did not go because his last wife was going to be there. I think it was wife number 7 or something. And she is something that this girl Myra didn't want anything to do with. Anyway, well, she said, she said what happened was back in the day, in I guess the 50s. A guy, let's see, Jerry Lee Lewis was living at Myra's house. She says her daddy was a lineman for the gas company, and he lost his job. Something bad happened. He went to Louisiana to try to find my cousin Jerry. And Jerry was doing some singing, and he said, gee, you ought to get together, do some songs. And he said, nah, I don't know about that. He said, tell you what, you can live with me. And although most of you singer guys are deadbeats back in that day, I'll make sure that you get to places you're supposed to go. I'll take care of everything. You can live in my house. You'll stay. I'll drive the car. I'll make sure you're going to be where you're supposed to be. He started having success. Jerry Lee Lewis had a whole lot of shaking going on, and Great Balls of Fire became big-time talent. Boom, bam. Okay, then Myra says, he treated me like a little friendly teenager. He was just being nice. He was saying, hey, you want to go Dairy Queen, get a root beer float. Was never any thought in her mind that he was after her in any kind of romantic way. One day, she says, he invited her out to the car, opened the glove compartment, and showed her a marriage license. And it had her name on it. He had used another woman to go to the court to get the marriage license, pretending she was the girl, his cousin, Myra. She said, I was bumfuzzled. I was 13, and he was a man. I was a teenager, and I liked attention. A couple days later, he said, let's go see a movie. Instead, he took her in the car and drove to Mississippi and said, we're getting married. Jerry Lee Lewis avoided her father, who was a pistol-packing J.W. Brown, who swore, I'm going to kill you. Well, Sam Phillips, who is a piano player, a friend of his, talked him out of it.
Sam Phillips is Phillips, the studio
the
there
studio,
in Memphis.
yeah, the studio guy, talked him out of it. And then came Jerry Lewis's ill-fated tour of England with his new 13-year-old bride. And she says, nobody told me not to say anything about anybody when they asked me, yeah, we're married, you married, I'm 13, you're married. And they went, oh my God. And then the whole world exploded. But she said, nobody said don't say, and she didn't know it. She was 13. They had 2 kids together. She divorced him after 13 years of physical and emotional abuse. He was a drug user. It was a kind of bad deal. But she said, up until the time she said, he was just immature. When we got married, I bought our house. I bought the new car, bought a brand new red Cadillac. I would go to the bank with $100,000 in a satchel, and if I needed something, I would just give people the money. And people were saying, how does a 13-year-old girl buy a car when you don't even have a driver's license? She says, when you have cash, you can pretty much buy anything you want. She divorced him, moved to Atlanta, became a real estate agent, married a fellow named Richard Williams, who is 84 years old and silver-haired, 6 feet tall. Myra is 5 feet and a half inch. And by the way, this really, when you think about that, it's bad enough that he married his 13-year-old cousin by just kind of doing it. I mean,
and lying about it.
Lying about everything. But look at the picture. She's a little girl.
Let me see.
There's a picture. She's looks like a child. I mean, she's beautiful, but she looks like a little girl. I mean, that's disgusting.
Can you imagine you're married to someone for 13 years, you get divorced, and you're 26?
I know. I mean, my God.
I know.
But she looks like she's 10.
Which kind of goes up to the fact, yeah, because this is what they do in Mississippi. He lied to get this done.
Right.
They don't do
that. He faked
that.
another girl to pretend to be her, which is fairly disgusting. Let's see. I was gonna. Something about. What was I gonna say about? Here we go. No, that wasn't it. I've got a whole Bob Dylan thing, and I don't know why. Something impressed me about a Bob Dylan story. Oh, I know what it was. Bob Dylan's love letters, 42 love letters written by Bob Dylan, who then was Robert Zimmerman, have been sold at auction for almost $700,000. He wrote the letters to his teenage sweetheart, Barbara Ann Hewitt. 42 letters, 150 pages handwritten by Robert Zimmerman. The RR auction sold him for almost $700,000. He talked about his drive for the future. He wrote about preparing for a local talent show. This is back when he was in high school. Shared some short pieces of poetry, professed his affection for the girl. It has a signed Valentine's Day card that she had kept all these years and some other handwritten notes. The girl was born in Hibbing, Minnesota, where he lived in her early teenage years. It was there she met Dylan in high school history class. Their first date was on New Year's Eve in 1957. They exchanged letters until at least the end of 1959. And she kept the letters from Dylan in her possession until she died 2 years ago, and then I guess her family got them. He talked about changing his name, hoping to sell 1 million records. Let's see, expresses talked about things in high school like clothing and cars and music. The woman's daughter found the letters 2 years ago after the mom died, and they were sent to her home and so forth. And anyway, it was 1957 to 59, almost $700,000 for Bob Dylan. And if you haven't read that, again, that New Yorker article on Bob Dylan was really amazing. I had no idea. I grew up with him. He was my, he was the first of my generation's folk music guys. Judy Collins, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan. But Dylan was was really the early freakoid kind of, Peter, Paul, and Mary and Judy Collins are not really, folk artists like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was a whole different genre of music. It changed everything. And I grew up with him, and yet I saw Bob Dylan about 1961 at the Boys Club in New England. Oh, you're going to write this down? I said this 10 years ago. I mentioned
Bob
this
Dylan story.
I just keeping track. Everybody who's listening now also heard this story 9 years ago for the 3 minutes I talked about it, so I guess I can't say it again.
Say it.
In New England, at the Boys Club in the Berkshires, and Bob, it was a Judy Collins concert, or was it Joan Baez? It was either Joan Baez.
Changing the story now.
I guess it was a Joan Baez
I know
concert.
it better than you.
Judy Collins I saw at the Folk Festival in Newport, Rhode Island, after hitchhiking there with Dave Whittlesey in a straw hat that took a bite out of. Anyway, he had a guitar on the side of the road, and that's how we got figured. Okay, good. So Joan Baez, and all of a sudden, in the middle of nowhere, on the side, from the left-hand side, or the right-hand side of the stage right, in the dark, walks out a guy in farmer overalls, and I think he was barefoot, if I'm not mistaken, and it was Bob Dylan. And he showed up, he played a song, he might have played 2 songs, and walked off, and that was it. Okay, that's the damnedest thing. And again, I was like 15 or 14, whatever, and that was I saw Bob Dylan in concert in a little teeny town up in New England. So anyway, I thought that was kind of bizarre. So that was weird. Okay. And again, when I saw the picture of little Myra when she was 13, oh my God, she just looks 10. Poor, that's so wrong. Anyway, God bless her, still alive and happy, married a great guy, and they're together now for many, many years, and that's the way life should be. Should have a happy ending. So God bless you. Let's see. Before I've got some music and history stuff. Something about new holiday food. Have you already?
Tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay. And how about cover bands?
Cover band. If you happen to be in L.A., there's a band called Mac Sabbath. It is a cover band of Black Sabbath songs, and they dress up as McDonald's characters.
I've seen them before live.
Grimace, Mayor McCheese, Ronald McDonald, and they literally do, and they sound great.
They dress up like McDonald's characters.
Yeah, and they do Black Sabbath. And they do
my God.
Black Sabbath.
And they do Black Sabbath covers.
And are they a thing?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. Like I saw, When I used to live in West Midtown, there's a place right behind me that a music venue, and they played there, and super entertaining.
Max Sappin.
I guess that's our mistake. We're trying. See the Venmo sign here. We're hoping that people will go to thekimmershow.net and maybe sign up for Venmo or PayPal or or the Kimmer Media Post Office Box 1432 Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. And we're trying to get $5 or $10 out of 9% of the people who listen to the podcast. Where a court clerk can make $500,000 signing passport tickets, and they can go and be famous for dressing like McDonald characters and singing Black Sabbath songs. God bless America.
What are we doing wrong?
We did something bad. It must be me.
I sometimes sit there late at night in bed before I go to sleep and think, there has got to be a way in this great country of ours that we can chisel money out of people's bank accounts.
Honestly, I think about it every night. How I'm going down in flames, and we got to find a way out of this.
There's got to be an idea out there that we could run with.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's
and we're not stupid.
No.
How can we not be thinking of these things?
I don't know. There's got to be a thing. I mean, there are between the three of us. There ought to be something. I thought this was going to be it. I thought, we aren't on the radio, but we're on,
like something so simple like this.
Let's don't talk about that.
Something, pack me a bowl, Flounder. I'm going home. So, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, and thank you again. Every $5 or $10, I promise you, is $2 a piece. So that it's not exactly a card note, but it's
Venmo, PayPal. We appreciate all.
We are very, very, very grateful.
Lockbox.
Now, I mentioned Bob Dylan, and I also mentioned another personal thing. Victor Mature is.
I'm glad you asked. Victor
Mature was if you don't know who that is, you got to Google him. Just his look, that wavy hair, and the look back in the 40s and 50s.
He was something, man.
Oh, he was a man. He was kind of the. It was like, who was the guy who did the? Robert Mitchum.
Yeah.
Kind of that old-fashioned, greasy
but
kind of
Mitchum,
tough guy.
He acted like he was in Scrooge. He acted to the day he died. He loved it. He wanted to do it. Victor Mature was one of the laziest human beings that ever hit the plate. He hated it. He only did it because it was easy money. He retired at 47. He said, I've made enough money that I can lay around. And we says, what are you going to do? And he goes, I'll find something to do. I got plenty of money, and I'm going to lay about for the rest of my life.
Of famous movies, but he was, back in
Samson
the day of
and Delilah.
Oh, that's right.
And he was a good actor when he wanted to be.
Yeah.
So for some reason, it came up in some story I was researching. And I go, I remember Victor Mature. I wonder what happened to him. So I looked him up on Wikipedia and other things, and a couple things stood out. During filming of Samson and Delilah, Mature was frightened by the animals, the mechanical props, the lions, the wind machine, the swords they were using, and even the water he had to be near. Okay. This infuriated the director Cecil B. DeMille.
Oh, my God.
Who bellowed through his megaphone at the assembled cast and crew, and I quote, I have met a few men in my time. Some have been afraid of heights, some have been afraid of water, some have been afraid of fire, some have been afraid of closed spaces. Some have even been afraid of open spaces or themselves. But in all my 35 years of picture-making experience, Mr. Mature, I have not until now met a man who was 100% yellow. Oh, it gets better. David Thompson was a critic, and he wrote a book on Victor Mature. Here's how David Thompson, and this is how people used to write. This is amazing. He's describing Victor Mature. Mature is an uninhibited creature of the naive, simple, crude, and heady, like ketchup or treacle. He is a diet scorned by the knowing, but obsessive if succumbed to in error. It is too easy to dismiss Mature, for he surpasses badness. He is a strong man in a land of 100-pound weaklings, an incredible concoction of beefsteak, husky voice, and brilliantine, a barely concealed sexual advertisement for soiled goods. I like that one. Remarkably, he is as much himself in the cheerfully meretricious and the pretentiously serious. Such a career has no pattern than a large ham. It slices consistently forever. The more lurid or distasteful the art, the better Mature comes across.
Oh, I love it. I miss the old. I miss the old literature, but the old mystery. Remember the guys who would...
P.G. Wodehouse, the way he would create English sentences, still makes me laugh.
As the gorgeous brunette sashayed across the room, her hips whispered a sweet hello.
Nikki Spillane,
Stuff like that.
Dashiell Hammett.
Yeah.
You ever read The Thin Man and some of those old things? Maltese
They
Falcon.
played a bunch of those the other night with, what's his name, Powell.
William Powell.
William Powell and the girl,
Myrna Loy?
Myrna Loy,
Oh,
yeah.
God. In fact, every New Year's, one of the channels,
Thin Man series.
TCM, they do all 6 of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And this year I'm going to record them if I
Yeah.
remember on that.
Anyway, they're pretty cool. And I don't know whether they still have the old shows available like Topper and some of those old classics. But
Topper was great. Hey, you ready for Ask the Kimmer?
I didn't know we had such a thing. Yes, I am ready
Yes,
right
it's
now.
Ask the Kimmer
Ask
segment.
the Kimmer. Thank you.
Kimmer.
Yes.
Why can you never trust an atom?
An atom?
An atom.
Well, they just keep splitting apart. Oh.
Because they make up everything.
Make up every... Oh. Well, thank you.
No, you came close. You tried.
Very close.
I'll give you that. By the way, there's breaking news.
Uh-oh.
According to this, a cheese factory has exploded in France.
Yeah.
Debris is everywhere.
Debris. Ooh. Well, the river in Nile, denial is not a river in Jordan.
You ready for some deep thoughts?
I'm ready for this Mr. Hanley's thoughts or
Could
yours?
be.
Could be.
Could be. It's a young lady.
All right.
I got these from. All right. If the number 2 pencil is the most popular pencil in the world, why is it still number 2?
Where's number 1? By the way, is the number 1 pencil really hard and narrow? Do they even have a number 1 pencil?
That's what she
Why
said.
do they start with number 2?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out the information if you're going to bring up
Staff?
a topic like staff. Oh, damn it. Why number 2 pencil? What happened to number 1? And was there ever a number 1? And why did they pick a number 2? Because it's got to be the size of the lead.
You talk about a lucky inventor. He does number 1. So I don't know about that one. And then the guy runs around and goes, "Here's number 2." Holy cow! Stop right there. This is it. This is perfect.
What a great meeting.
Good meeting. If a pregnant woman goes swimming, is she a human submarine?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the carrying load down below. It's like the guy said he made fun of the DoubleTree hotel chain. Boy, it must have been a lot of thought into coming up with a name for that place. Huh? So we have a single tree. Now let's DoubleTree. Yeah, let's stop at DoubleTree. Yeah, call it DoubleTree.
I saw an
Where do
English.
you get names for things? You know?
There's a Scottish or Irish comedian last night. He's here in America. He goes, "You know how I know you Americans are just too into your dogs?"
Why?
He says, about 2 years ago, my father passed away.
Oh, no.
He was about 70-something years old. He passed away. And we're sitting around a few days later, and my mother says to me, "Should we tell the dog?" It was his dog. "Should we tell the dog?" And he goes, "Yeah, we should tell Roscoe the dog." So the mother leans down at the table and says, "Roscoe, I have bad news to tell you, but your master has died. He's passed away." And that dog got up. It was about a 15-year-old dog, walked over and jumped up in my dad's seat, and later that night died in that chair.
This is a comedian telling this story?
Yeah, and
Well,
of
that's
course,
pretty funny so
of course,
far.
the crowd goes, "Oh,"
Oh.
and he goes, "You guys don't give a shit about my father." No, he says, "When I said my father had died, you could hear a pin drop in here, but when I said the dog died."
It's like a comedian saying, "You know, there's nothing funny about child molesting." See what I mean? You know, so
Holy shit!
they do that.
That's a good one. In 1969, aliens landed on the moon.
Oh, they did. 1969 alien. Well, yeah, that's true. To moon people, they were
Yeah.
aliens.
Does a straw
No, straw.
have one hole or two?
2.
2.
I'm looking at it. It
Although,
looks like one.
It's one opening that goes all the way through, though. So yeah, great question.
All right. If you put a lasagna on top of another lasagna, you still only have one lasagna.
That's a big one. Yeah.
If tomato is a fruit, does that make ketchup a smoothie?
Apparently.
And finally, if money is the root of all evil, then why do churches ask for it?
All right, update on number 2 pencil.
Number 2
Oh,
pencil.
excellent.
According to dictionary.com, early machines that scan and recorded test scores couldn't properly detect marks made by pencils. Well, number 1, the softest pencils were prone to smudging. Number 2 pencil was the perfect balance of softness and hardness.
I thought it was the point tip of skinniness as like a fine point as opposed to a medium point.
Well, it depends
I
on what
was
you-
wrong. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, that's true.
You definitely don't want to be 2 inches.
No, whoa, hey, that's what she said. But seriously, some birthdays of note, if you don't mind. Goldie Hawn, 77.
Damn.
She was so cute on that Saturday. What was that? Laughing?
Laughing.
Yeah. And her daughter's not too shabby
I
looking.
never got her daughter.
Oh, I thought she was very
Good actress,
very cute.
but
Yeah.
I just didn't think.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
What's her name?
Kate.
Kate Hudson. Or is that?
But she went non-binary with one of her daughters. Like she's
Yeah,
gonna
let her. Yeah, it's.
Isn't
raise them
she in the new
gender
movie
neutral?
with Daniel Craig where he plays the Southern?
Yes.
You never saw Knives Out. You would love Knives Out. He's got a sequel now where he's solving another crime, and I think she's in the movie.
I'll have
Kate
to
Hudson.
check that out. Michael Strahan is 51 today. He has the record for the NFL in sacks since 2001, 22 and a half sacks that year. But Brett Favre, remember the last one? Brett Favre just laid down in front of him, and he counted it as a sack, and that set the record. And I don't know whether Brett Favre knew he was going down and said, screw it, and just stop fighting, or whether he was trying to get him to be. I don't know. It's like whether somebody threw a batting practice fastball to Hank Aaron to hit it over
Al
the fence.
Downing.
Yeah. Carly Rae Jepsen, me likey, 37. From her song Call Me. Her song Call Me Maybe has had 1.4 billion views.
I don't know it.
Call Me Maybe. Very cute girl. I saw her throw out the first pitch at a baseball game once. And Marlo Thomas, that girl, 85.
I'll always remember where I was, Flounder, when Kimber told his amazing Carly Rae Jepsen anecdote.
How could you forget?
Well, she was so cute because she's kind of skipped. Like she threw it like a girl, and I thought it's so cute that she looked like a little cute girl, and I wanted to kiss her on the mouth. Juliette Mills,
Yes.
Nanny and the Professor, 81.
Haley's sister. Wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
They were twins,
I think,
or-
yes, I believe. No, Haley Mills. No, Haley Mills is the daughter. Haley Mills was the little girl who played the twins.
In the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juliet's her sister, isn't she?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't think
know.
so.
I don't know.
We could look that up somewhere.
Staff?
This guy Bjork.
No,
think
it's a woman.
Is that a woman?
It's a cute little Icelandish. I met her once, and she's
It dresses like a swan.
She
or
looks like
something?
she looks like a little fairy walking around.
Is that what it is?
That's what she's so small and teeny.
She's 57. And is that a singer? I
Oh,
know
yeah,
the
she's
name.
a singer.
But, yeah,
she does human.
thought it was a guy.
What's that song? That big hit she had. Human. I've got it on my phone.
Oh, I know. I remember.
Who's it?
now.
What's the name?
Bjork.
Oh, human.
Human.
Yeah, I remember that. I've heard it. I don't know why I
forgot the name.
got confused. Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Oh yeah, good play.
Basketball, 78 today.
Human behavior.
Human behavior. Good song.
There you go. Ken Griffey Jr., 53 today. Troy Aikman, 56 today. Nicolette Sheridan's 59, for the record. A couple of music things. 2003, Freakoid record producer Phil Spector was formally charged with murder after shooting a B-movie actress named Lana Clarkson in the face at his mansion. He said, "No, something. I don't know what happened. I really wasn't there." There's a series now on HBO about Spector.
Al Pacino. Yeah.
He did The Wall of Sound. He was not convicted in the first trial, had a second trial, was convicted, and died last year. In prison. 1990, on this day, Mick Jagger and Jerry Hall got married in Bali. 9 years later, a judge ruled, no, you're not married. That ceremony for 6 hours was never actually registered. I've performed 3 wedding ceremonies, including one to a very good golfing buddy of mine, Big Huge Dave, and his lovely bride, Chrissy. And after this... After the ceremony, Big Dave and I were talking. We were going. He said, we're not really married, are we? I said, no, I signed it. You got to turn it in now. Whether they accepted it, whether you accepted it, I don't know. If the judge put it in the records, I don't know. But I signed a piece of paper.
It used to be in Georgia because when I looked it up, when I did my one that I did, they're still together. Thank God. Knock on wood.
Oh, they still together? Who, Davey? In a way. Yeah.
I looked it up, and if you think that the person marrying you can marry you, you're married.
Well, when I, with my final wife, before we got married, went to do our taxes, and Mr. Gold. His name was Mr. Gold, little teeny fellow at H&R Block back before it was going
No,
on.
Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
And he said, "Now, are you two married?" He said, "No, we're engaged." And he said, "I now pronounce you man and wife. You're now married." And because he said you were married, we filed married.
Wow.
And it was legal. If you say you're married, common law married. And again, that's why I was able to perform 3 wedding ceremonies, because the state of Georgia said, according to the secretary, I actually called the Secretary of State's office, and he said, if your church says you're a minister, and Georgia can't say you're not. Now, they've changed it since then. So a common law marriage, I think, has a different set of circumstances. But again, when I did it, it was perfectly legal. 1980, speaking of music, Don Henley was arrested after a 16-year-old girl was discovered at his Los Angeles home suffering from a drug overdose. She was naked at the time. Mr. Henley got a $2,000 fine and 2 years probation. And he went to a drug rehab thing, but that was a little...
How Led Zeppelin isn't in prison, I don't know.
Yeah, it's or most of them, for God's sakes. 1980, America ratings soar as millions of viewers tune in to CBS to see the season premiere of Dallas to find out who shot J.R. It was Kristen, played by Mary Crosby.
Don't break in with the score, because I don't want to know. I'm recording it. Okay. I knew you had that look. I'm recording the U.S. Wales game because I don't want to know, so I go home and watch it.
Oh, my. It's going to be 0-0. What are you talking about? There's no score. They never score. Oh, they're going to do a bicycle kick. Oh, he made... Oh, damn.
It's a plucky country with its own flag and soccer team, but enough about the USA.
Soccer. 1980, fire breaks out at the MGM Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. The smoke and fire killed 81 people, hurt 800 more in the panic. 1980. 1974, Congress passed the Freedom of Information Act, allowing for release of government documents. It strengthened the Privacy Act of 1974, passed after the Nixon-Watergate scandal. President Ford wanted to sign the bill, Freedom of Information Bill, but he was persuaded to veto it. His chief of staff, Donald Rumsfeld, and Deputy Dick Cheney
Both dicks.
said don't sign it. He vetoed it, but it was passed over his veto.
Good.
In 1974, yep. But again, those two names.
Those two dicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
1986, National Security Advisor and Marine Colonel Oliver North and his magnificent secretary, Fawn Hall, start shredding documents that would expose arms sales to Iran with the funds diverted to help the Nicaraguan rebels.
Good.
But again, for what Democrats are doing these days, it means justifying the ends is nothing. Compared to them, I mean, my God.
I didn't care he did it. I didn't like him lying to Congress about it.
Yeah, that was bad. Covering up is always almost worse than if you admit it and say, my God, what was I thinking?
Because that's lying to us.
Yeah, that's
basically.
right. That's right. And we would take it. I mean, we would, let us react, accept or reject, but let us have it, and then it's done. Then it's over. Then you don't have a residual effects. How times have changed. 1995. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed for the first time above 5,000. I remember the first time it went over 1,000. Yeah. I remember when gasoline, I remember asking a guy in the 1970s, asking a friend of mine at Shell Oil Company on the anchor set doing a newscast in 1974, 5, whatever, and saying, do you really think one day we're going to have gasoline that's over $1 a gallon?
Gosh, you got 2 in 1 today. The gas over
I did that one before
story
too.
And the
well, I had to mention, times change. 1877, Thomas Edison invented what he called the talking machine, a phonograph, accidentally invented it while trying to come up with a system of needles that would take a spinning motion for his famous experiments blinding baby seals. His first recording was Mary Had a Little Lamb, and he wrote it like this. Mary had a little lamb, her father shot it dead. Now it goes to school with her between 2 chunks of bread. Mary had a little skirt with slits right up the sides, and every time that Mary walked, the boys could see her thighs. Mary had another skirt with split right up the front, but she didn't wear that one very often.
Mary had a little lamb, and it was always grunting.
There are a lot of different versions. No sense in doing all. We don't have the time. If we had time, we could give you. Thank you. Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay, here's a choice for both of you. Blue Door, You go back in time and fix all your mistakes.
All right.
Red door, $10 million.
Red door.
Red door. $10 million, I can fix all my mistakes.
No.
Well, what
I
kind of
go back
mistakes you
in
talking
time.
about?
I go back in time to when I'm a kid, and I keep an eye on the stock of when Microsoft hits the
Well,
market, when
that's
Apple,
not a
and I'm going to
mistake.
have more than I'm going to fix all my mistakes, and I'm going to have more than $10 million
Well,
before this
that's
is
not a
over.
mistake. That's knowledge that you didn't have before. A mistake is like if you got divorced or you.
Yeah, that's
you
what you're
stabbed-
talking about is a time machine where you can go back.
That's
and,
what it is. That's what I said. You go back in time to fix your mistakes, and once you're back there, let's put a couple bets on the
that's-
World
that's
Series
not-
here.
The mistake is not
because you
didn't
just
know
go
about
and
Microsoft.
you literally just said, "Hey, while you're back there, why don't we just do this?"
Yeah, why not?
What are you? Name your biggest mistake from when you were a kid.
Oh, kid. Okay.
Well, go back in time and fix your mistake. Or as a young adult,
From
your
a kid.
biggest mistake.
I didn't have any major mistakes as a kid.
Okay, well,
but
then-
I know major mistakes. Getting alcohol poisoning on the flight up to Boston in '97.
Right.
That was probably a mistake for what happened afterwards.
Well.
Let's see. We won't get into
I think
it.
you could fix a lot of apologies with $10 million. I think you could say, here's $500,000. I'm sorry for the time I lied to you about wrecking
One guy,
your car or whatever.
one guy wrote this. He goes, "I take the $10 million because I probably could just go back and screw up fixing my mistakes."
Yeah, what's the difference? Who are you trying to kid,
All right, American workers are earning. How much do you think American workers are earning now more than they did in the ~70s, adjusted for inflation?
Percentage-wise? Or
No. How much money? We're talking.
the average worker making, what average worker salary today?
Yeah,
compared to-
American workers. How much are you making more now than in the '70s, adjusted for inflation?
I'll bet you're not making any more.
Less.
12 cents.
Yeah.
We're making 12 cents more than we did in the '70s.
Yeah. And again,
Now, what would that be the same 2 years ago, before Biden took office?
No, hell no.
no.
That's-
But I remember in 1974 or 5, we bought a 4-bedroom house in a cul-de-sac in a nice neighborhood for $43,000. Sold it 2 years later for $90,000.
Yeah.
And that's how we started going in to get a bigger house and with the thing. But again, in the mid '70s, a 4-bedroom house on a cul-de-sac
And interest
for
rates were
43.
high then.
I was paying 7% interest for the mortgage.
Under
Yeah.
Carter.
But
it went
because
up.
it was assumable, and in fact, it was an assumable mortgage, and because the mortgages then went nuts, I sold our house in 2 days.
Yeah.
For the second person who walked in, because my mortgage was assumable, which means they didn't have to pay the 12% under Carter that it went to or whatever.
I don't know if you saw the video in Brazil. A man who identified as a trans woman took his penis out in front of a young girl in the women's bathroom. The video shows 2 mothers of the children beating the fuck out of him, dragging him out of the building, and beating him on the street.
Good. It should have killed him.
It's one of the best videos you will ever watch.
As it should be. Brazilian?
Brazilian.
Yeah, you don't mess around with Spanish
up there.
chicks, man. And South
They're
American
not Spanish.
babes.
They're
And,
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. They don't cotton to that
It's
kind
only
of
like
stuff.
100 million people there. But
Well, I mean, whatever. Portugal, Brazil. What's the
Libel.
difference?
You don't mess with them.
All right, we got some scores in.
Scores.
Got some scores in from
7-4,
the World
3-2.
Cup.
All right.
The beer-swilling poncho posers of Ecuador shut out the Qatar queer tossers 2-0. And the boy-rogering British team spanked the Iranian soon-to-be overthrown Kurd killers 6-2.
The boy buggers.
Boy Rogers. They'll be boy buggers by tomorrow.
Now, what's your over and under on how many riots there will be?
Not in
Is this when
Qatar.
it happens?
Not in Qatar. They'll kill
You
them.
think anything will happen?
They will kill you in Qatar. No, nothing's going to happen there.
And what's the deal on the Iranians? Apparently, did not sing their own national anthem when it played. And
Well,
so
they're mad. They're
protesting.
They're in the middle of a revolution that's not being followed by our mainstream
like we would
media.
Know. Yeah, we don't know anything about it.
We're more
Right.
concerned
'Cause
about the World Cup.
Biden is trying to cut a deal with them like Obama did, so our media is trying to pop him and prop the Iranians
Go
up.
back to that nuclear deal, which will leave
And
us
some
in
of that,
ruins.
Macron, and I hate Macron of France, but at least he had the
He's a
balls.
little punk.
Well, over the weekend, he came out and said there's a revolution going on there, which
well.
usually you don't say.
Yeah.
So-
Well, maybe he's got more balls than our guy does.
All right, bad text theater.
Bad text.
Bad text theater. All right, here we go. There we go. Have you had time to pick one out here? The one
Yeah,
that is the next one? Or is that
So go to where you sent me the send, spend, split Venmo.
Wait a minute. We got the...
Be right with you,
okay,
folks.
it's right beneath it. Right beneath it, right? The genie.
Yes.
All right, it's a genie and a boy.
The genie and a boy.
I'll be the
Thank you.
boy.
The genie
All
and
right.
a boy. There we go.
All right. This is kind of a visual.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to do the one below it. That's also a genie one.
Well, let's do both. Let's do the genie first one. The
All right.
first one. Let's do the first one, then we'll do the second one.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. I'm the genie.
Yep.
What is your final wish?
I wish I were you.
Weird, but all right. I wish I were you.
The letter I.
And the genie's now a genie.
Yeah, I get it now. Wow.
All right, one more. It's a genie. It's a genie and me. So are you genie or are you me?
I'll be me again.
All right. I shall grant you 3 wishes.
I wish for a world without lawyers.
Done. You have no more wishes.
But you said I had 3.
Sue me. So sue me.
What are you going to do about it? All right, boys. And again, we'll be here tomorrow live on Facebook and YouTube, but we'll post it either late Tuesday
Are
or
we still on
Wednesday for
Facebook?
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Excellent. And again, thank you. God bless you around the world. And I'll post some, I'm not going to the stable today, but I'll post some videos that I got over the weekend, so everything will be fine. And thank you. God bless America.